Life often leads us down paths that feel uncomfortable, uncertain, and isolating. But these very paths may be the clearest signs you're headed in the right direction. When you feel abandoned and alone, it can be tempting to think you've made a wrong turn, that perhaps you've missed the signs, or that the struggles you face are evidence of failure. Yet more often than not, the most difficult and trying moments are the very indicators that you are on a path of growth and transformation. Feeling abandoned and lost is not uncommon when you're forging a path that few have walked before. The wilderness you wander through is not a sign of being forsaken. Rather, it's a necessary part of the process. When you're lost, every step becomes deliberate, every decision weighs more heavily, and the silence around you forces you to confront what's inside. In this confrontation, you begin to ask the questions that shape your future. Who am I? Where am I going? Why does this journey feel so arduous? These questions don't come when everything is easy and clear. Comfort rarely pushes us to dig deep into our being. It's in the discomfort and confusion where you start to discover the layers of your own soul. The wilderness becomes the classroom where lessons are learned in patience, perseverance, and self-awareness. You might feel abandoned, but this sense of abandonment is a sacred space where you're invited to explore the parts of yourself that were previously hidden under the noise of a busier, more predictable life. This isolation is fertile ground for insight and growth. You may look around and see no one coming to your help. The help you hoped for, the support you expected, seems absent, and it leaves you questioning whether you're truly on the right track. But what if no one is meant to come? What if part of your journey involves realizing that the strength you're searching for outside of yourself is already within you? This realization is a challenging one, and it often arrives in the midst of your deepest struggles. You're left feeling the weight of your own responsibility. The unsettling truth is, in moments like these, no one else can carry you through. You have to learn to go through by your own light. There's something profoundly empowering in this understanding. Though it feels lonely, the absence of external rescue forces you to tap into reservoirs of resilience you didn't know you had. There's a kind of salvation that only happens when you stand on your own feet and face the storm head-on. The truth is, God does not always rush in to spare you from hardship, because hardship itself is shaping you. Even in biblical stories, the greatest figures were not spared from suffering. If Christ himself wasn't saved from the cross, what makes us think our journey won't involve some heavy crosses of our own? In this season of feeling forsaken, you're being refined. The path you walk alone is not punishment, but preparation. You may feel abandoned, but this solitude is the crucible in which your spirit is being tested, strengthened, and purified. There is a reason for the loneliness, for the silence that surrounds you. It's giving you space to hear a deeper voice, one that perhaps you've been too distracted to listen to before. It's in this loneliness that you begin to understand your true relationship with God, with yourself, and with the world. When no one comes, when there's no visible hand reaching out to guide you, it forces you to confront your own power. You learn to trust in your own ability to survive, to thrive even in the absence of obvious support. This doesn't mean you become hardened or self-reliant in the sense of rejecting help entirely. Rather, it teaches you that your core strength is something given by God, something that lies within, waiting to be activated. When no one else can save you, you are pushed to discover the divine strength that resides in your spirit. The isolation you feel is not permanent. It's a temporary but necessary part of the journey. But in the moment, it feels like forever. You wonder how long you'll have to walk this path alone, and doubt creeps in. Yet it's precisely in this aloneness that you forge a deeper connection with yourself and with God. Without the noise of external voices, without the distractions of everyday life, you begin to see things more clearly. The path ahead might not be easy, but in the quiet, you start to notice signs you couldn't see before. You develop an inner compass, one that's guided not by external validation or approval, but by a deep knowing of your purpose. In the moments when you feel most alone, you are actually being drawn closer to God. It's in the wilderness that many spiritual figures, Moses, Elijah, even Jesus, had their most profound encounters with the divine. Solitude can feel like abandonment, but in reality, it's an invitation into intimacy with God. When all external sources of comfort and guidance are stripped away, you are left with the truth that God has been with you all along, dwelling within you, waiting for the noise of the world to quiet enough for you to hear His voice. As you walk this path, even when it feels unbearably lonely, remember that you are not truly alone. The right people, the right support, will come into your life at the right time. But for now, this part of the journey is about learning to trust yourself, to rely on your inner strength, and to cultivate a relationship with God that is based not on the presence of others, but on the truth of your own spirit. The relationships that are meant to come will come when you've learned the lessons that can only be learned in solitude. Each step you take, each moment of feeling abandoned or isolated, is preparing you for something greater. The struggles you face now are the very fires that are forging you into the person you need to become for the next phase of your journey. You may not see it yet, but these uncomfortable signs, feeling lost, abandoned, or alone, are the very indications that you're on the right track. They are shaping you into someone who can carry the weight of your future, someone who is not only surviving, but thriving in the midst of adversity. This path, though uncomfortable, is leading you exactly where you need to go. Keep walking. I hope you enjoyed watching my video. If you're still with me, please leave a comment on what you learned or what you would like to add. I would appreciate it. As always, wishing you a beautiful day.